I command the power of fire.
Well, it's not a good idea.
According to many, humans are the most intelligent creatures on Earth. However, when you learn about the level of intellect that some other species have, you may feel ill at ease, as it is quite possible that it's not us who are watching them, but them watching us. So, today we are going to talk about the smartest animals and some of the experiments that have been done to prove their intelligence. Their IQ level can often stump even some intellectual. Scientists have discovered primates in the impenetrable jungle of Congo who can make nothing short of weapons, hunting spears. If that reminds you of the Rise of the Planet of the Apes movie.
Oh, you want a drink?
All right.
Easy.
All right.
Don't worry. The spears aren't for attacking humans, but for hunting small and alert animals called galagos. The process of making a spear includes several steps. The apes break a branch off, remove the leaves, and sharpen the tip with their teeth. The formidable weapon is ready, but the scientists wouldn't be scientists if they didn't decide to go further and find out what else primates are capable of. Here's how one of their experiments went. A treat is placed under a rather heavy load. The ape tries to move it, but the load is too heavy. Then the ape comes up to the man and asks him for help. But are they capable of helping others too? One ape asks another ape to bring it a stone to get the treat out of the can. After that, he gives half of the trophy to its cage mate in gratitude for the help. So, as you may already know, many apes are capable of using sign language. But there's a bonobo among them who communicates with his owner in common human language. This is the world-famous Kanzi, who is often called an ape genius because his intellect is compared to that of a 3-year-old child. Right now you see him being asked to fetch a few sticks. And now, the owner, having covered her face with a mask to maintain experimental integrity, asks Kanzi to put the keys into the fridge and then to bring her the ball that is lying behind the door. By the way, this unique animal's vocabulary comprises about 3,000 words of spoken English. However, not all bonobos can boast such industriousness and curiosity. There are those who tend toward bad habits and indecent behavior. Ravens are considered the smartest birds, and here's some clear proof of that. Scientists placed maggots in pistachio shells into the center of a tree stump and put sticks near it, which the bird could use to reach the shells. With great effort, the raven manages to get a maggot, but there's no way for him to pull it through the hole, as the stick is not at all suitable for this purpose. So he makes a hook out of it with his beak and uses it to pull out 2 maggots at once. In this instance, the treat is on the bottom of a transparent container, all the openings of which are closed. A stick or tree branch won't be of any use to get a maggot from there. The biologist gives the bird a clue that there is a lid in the bottom that can be opened using a wire as a lever. It isn't possible to explain to a bird that the lid opens when pressed. Can the raven understand the principle on his own? To check, the biologist removes the lever. The bird has never had to deal with stones, but after he understands what the secret is, he invents a brilliant technical solution. There are many other experiments confirming that bird's actions aren't only based on instinct. Instead, it seems they require logical thought as well. Look how he tries to increase the water level in the cylinder here in order to get the food. And now, here's a more complicated variant of the experiment. There are 3 cylinders. It is impossible to throw a stone into the middle one, as it's too narrow. But if one throws a stone into the red cylinder, the water level in the middle one will rise. And if a stone is thrown into the blue cylinder, nothing will happen. The raven tries once again and never makes that mistake again. And finally, here's one of the most complicated experiments. A piece of meat is placed into a narrow, transparent box. The stick that can be used to reach it is placed into another box, but in such a way that the bird can't reach it with its beak. Additionally, there is a short stick hanging on a rope, the length of which is apparently not enough to reach the meat, but it can be used for pulling out the longer stick. And with the aid of that stick, the bird can reach the treat. Will the raven be able to reason out such a brilliant scheme? As for me, I'm not sure that I'd be able to solve that problem. First, the bird examines the situation, trying to make heads or tails of it. He sees a long stick in the box, which he can't reach with his beak, and he sees the tasty morsel in the transparent box. What will he do? That's truly amazing. The raven's intellect is indeed sky high. This is a key parrot, another one of the smartest birds on the earth. And here's the problem he will have to solve. There are 8 lanes in front of him and a tasty reward: peanuts. The peanuts can't be reached because they are under the glass, but they can be bombarded out with bowling balls. The scientists make the experiment more complicated by constructing a trap hole for the balls. What will the Kia conclude from that if he has never taken part in such an experiment? One nut is in front of the hole, and the other isn't. Which of them should he aim at? The Kia remembers that the balls don't roll further than the hole, so he makes the wise decision from the first attempt. This public favorite, Rico, is the smartest dog in history. In 1999, he shocked the entire scientific community over the course of an amazing experiment that was broadcast on TV. There was such a massive outcry among the scientists that the poor dog was taken to a laboratory where he was explored for 3 years. Here's the experiment. A couple hundred toys were placed around Rico. He knows the names of each of them except for one. The anchorman pulls out a random card with an image of a heart on it, which Rico must find and bring to him. Rico knows the name of the toy, so he finds it easily and takes it to his owner. Then the anchorman asks the dog to fetch the only object that he doesn't know the name of. It's a ball with a meaningless abbreviation, BVB. And now Rico starts using the method of exclusion. If none of the other toys matches the name of the thing he has been asked to fetch, it means he has to bring the only remaining one. Before this performance, which literally blew everybody's minds, it was believed that only humans could think using the method of exclusion. In conclusion, we're going to tell you about incredible tricks done by an animal that has been trying to break free for 20 years. This is a honey badger called Stoffel, who resides together with his female in the Kruger National Park. Despite their small size, these fearless animals don't have any natural enemies, and they are reputed to be incredibly brave, so much so that even lions keep away from them. But Stoffel doesn't want to be locked up either, and he escapes again and again to funnel his vibrant energy toward the other inhabitants of the center. For this reason, the park's employees started locking the doors of his enclosure with double latches and wrapping additional wire around the upper latch. However, the honey badger has turned out to be a true intellectual. He opened the lower latch first, then climbed to the upper one, and understanding that it wouldn't surrender as easily, started pulling the wire away from the latch. After he figured that out, the park's employees had to lock the enclosure even more securely. But then Stoffel simply dug an underground passage under the fence. By the way, one of the times he broke free like that, he came close to opening a cage with lions. Another time, he bit a rhinoceros and broke into the park ranger's house, shattering a window and frightening his wife. After that, the honey badgers were relocated to a kind of Alcatraz constructed especially for them, which seemed impossible for them to escape from. The deep foundation did indeed prevent them from digging an underway passage, but Stoffel realized that he could gnaw off a big branch of the tree growing inside and use it to climb over the fence. The tree was hacked down, but it didn't stop the clever beast. He gathered stones from the territory and used them as a ladder. When all the stones were removed from the enclosure, Stoffel learned how to roll mud balls instead and use them to escape. It looks as if this is some kind of game or contest for him, as every time they find another method for locking in the restless honey badger, he finds a new way to escape that is even more sophisticated than his previous methods.